Welcome to Real Talk with Reginald D. I'm your host, Reginald D. On today's episode, I have Shannon Michelle. Shannon is a speaker and author and was one of Los Angeles' most sought after interior designer to A-list clients. And then a motorcycle accident changed everything in an instant. Welcome to the show, Shannon.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
Thanks for taking the time out to be on the show with me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Shannon, tell us a little bit about your childhood and where you grew up.
Oh, that's all over the place. So, born in Southern California. Part of my youth was in Helena, Montana, and a lot of chaos with that. Had very, I would say, disturbed alcoholic parents that I grew up with. My childhood was quite messy, and I found my way out at that stage by kind of discovering what I could do and who I was. And that turned me into this amazing. I started with refinishing antique furniture store and then designing and then interior design and then furniture stores, custom everything. And that led up to what we all went through COVID together. And then my motorcycle accident. That was the before me. I call it Shannon Michelle 1.0 and Shannon Michelle 2.0. There's been a lot of adjustments and changes within those two people.
Right. So, Shannon, your story starts with the near-death motorcycle accident. Can you tell us about that accident?
I can tell you what I've been told. I had a very traumatic brain injury to the point where they had to keep me in a coma for a few months, and they didn't know what they were going to get back with my brain trauma. Also, the body, like every body part, had been broken and fixed and replaced. And that was a motorcycle accident. I was on Pacific Coast Highway, and somebody did an illegal U-turn and threw me up in the air from what I've been told, 30 plus feet, crashed back down. And then that's where my blessings started. I mean, I've had so many blessings in my life, but around this accident, there happened to be an EMT and his wife on the beach that ran out and did all his stuff and said, if you don't get her in a helicopter, she's going to die. And so they got me, in the right hands at UCLA. And there's lots of stories beyond that, but that was the beginning of the new me, I would say, and all of the blessings that have come with me being alive, me being able to breathe, me being able to, I'm rebuilding my brain because with my brain trauma, it deleted everything and I've had to relearn everything. But I'm here. I sit here today grateful to be breathing, to be sitting in my home and knowing that it's okay to be a new person and it's okay to be surrounded by a new environment and learning to grow and expand and find joy within, all the changes. So that was my motorcycle accident. And again, the good part of that is I don't recall the accident with the brain trauma, and I really don't want to remember that accident from what I've been told.
Right, right. And, the thing about it, that's why it's so critical for people. I'm big on safety. I'm a safety-driven guy.
Yeah.
My family will tell you that. I'm talking about safety to them all the time. But, when people driving cars and distracted driving these days and all this kind of stuff they're doing, so they take one incident like what happened to you, and it could have been a lot worse, especially
Yeah.
when you're riding motorcycles. So
Oh, yeah.
people don't understand, motorcycle accident is not like a car accident. It's usually bad when it
It can
happens.
easily take your life.
Right.
Yes.
And it depends on where you live, too, because in South Carolina, where I grew up, there's not a helmet law.
Yeah. If I didn't have my helmet on, then this wouldn't be a conversation we'd be having.
Right.
I'm grateful for all the good gear I wore and a helmet being one of them. But it doesn't seem like it'd be safety driven because I was riding a motorcycle, but I was like within the realm of me even riding. I needed to make sure I had, the proper gear and to keep myself as safe as possible. I have a daughter and I didn't want her to have um, any kind of loss like she almost had.
Right. So what was it like, Shannon, realizing you didn't remember the life you had built?
At first, it was just, I didn't even realize that I didn't realize the life I had because I woke up over and over again from the brain trauma, not knowing where I was for weeks and weeks and weeks until they told me enough times what had happened. Like I'd wake up and I would be like, what, like, where am I? Am I in Louisiana? Because I had just come back from Louisiana. I had no concept as to what had happened. And then once I started realizing with my brain trauma recovery, like I hear things so many times, I retain it and then I learn and I grow. But at that point, it was waking up, not understanding what had happened, not remembering where I was, and having no idea what to do next. And that was really difficult. That was sad, and those are the words I can put around it, but overwhelming. And I sat just kind of circling around the same thing over and over again, and then having to find a way to retain who I was, learn what had happened, then slowly learning who and what I had been broken, and like the person that had been broken, well, who was she before this accident, and learning who she was. And that's, most of the people, again, in my life who have known me before and after, they can see a new me, they experience a new Shannon. And that wasn't easy for them either. So I don't know if that answered your question.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So let's talk about the traumatic brain injury. Can
Okay.
you explain what that is to my listeners that may not
Yes.
know what a traumatic brain injury is?
I mean, traumatic brain injury could be caused by many things. Mine was an accident and it literally cracked open my brain, or cracked, in my case, it cracked my head, which cut off brain frequency. I don't even have the right words around it, but where it again deleted my brain. Some people have strokes, or there's so many ways that you can have a brain trauma. And there's so many variations of what to expect after a brain trauma, because like they would say to my daughter, we don't know, we really don't know what you're getting back. She could look out the window the rest of her life. She may never walk, and she may never know who she is. She may never be able to speak. Like that, brain trauma can cause all kinds of changes and sadness. My daughter was not sure what she was going to even get back when I did awaken and when they did bring me home. And so brain traumas can be, this is a severe brain trauma. There's smaller versions of what can happen to somebody, but brain trauma is basically the brain getting adjusted and broken in a way. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. So, what was the hardest internal battle you had to fight during your recovery?
I remember at one stage, and there have been a lot of difficulties, but I remember at the beginning stages, I just wanted to prove to myself and to others that I was still in here, that I was still worthy of still caring for, and worthy of some kind of, again, I was rebirthed. I was a brand new version of myself. And I remember being overwhelmed by not feeling comfortable in my vulnerability at first, because I was always the doer, the fixer, the achiever, the helper, the financial freedom woman. I was a lot of things. And all of a sudden, I was the person in need of all of the helpful. I can't walk, I can't talk, I can't draw, and broken, and allow others to care for me. And that was probably one of the hardest transitions emotionally that I went through during that. Yeah.
Right. So, Shannon, you often talk about the power of the human mind. When did you
Yes.
realize mindset would be a major part of your healing journey?
It's a great question. I think at one point somebody said to me, Shannon, don't worry about the past and don't worry about the future, just stay present. And that was the only way that I could wake up each day and not be, I would say, taken by all the heaviness, darkness, and pain. I would just wake up and say, okay, stay present, Shannon. Okay, we're going to learn how to walk down the steps on your own. I'm going to learn to walk my dog again. It was the smallest things, but allowing myself to just stay present in each moment and allow all the divine that was being spoken to me and through me, and listen to that and not worry about the old stuff and the new stuff. That was my transformation of not being overwhelmed by what had happened.
Yeah, because you got to understand, and some people have a hard time learning this, but
Hmm.
sometimes in life you get in situations where you have to take each moment. I mean, everybody want to look down the road and look at the future and all that stuff, but a lot of times is what you do each moment get you to where you're trying to go.
Absolutely. And that's, again, there's so much power and strength within staying present and staying aware of this present moment. This present moment is my beautiful Sunday morning. I'm talking to you, I'm engaging, and that's this moment. And I'm learning. And I know from things we talk about, I'm going to gain and learn. And that's, I guess, again, where all of us need to understand, like in each moment of our life, what is it that we're being guided toward or learning? And take that as enough.
Yes. So Shannon, as you were recovering,
Hmm.
then next you were diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yes.
How, how in the world, how did that second battle challenge your faith, strength, and hope?
That was a funny moment as well. I have to say, at first I laughed because I thought, oh, if something was going to take me, it would have already taken me. And so there was a little humor I had with it. And I remember calling my daughter, she's in college, and she's like, Mom, this is serious. You've got to put your brain and your body recovery on hold, and we've got to face this cancer thing next. And that taught me that no matter what happens to us in our life, from us to think that there's not more that can or that we can learn from, gain from, and grow from, and expand and evolve through. If we think that we're done doing all the bad stuff, then we're wrong. We need to be present and understand that in each and every day, if we can just stay present, that is going to lead us and that is going to give us guidance and strength. And I wasn't really ready yet to understand that about my life. I thought I was broken enough. I'm not going to be broken again. And that's not a nice attitude to have, you know? And I had to learn that I sit present and I just continue to not assume I know,
So
even though
you
I know a lot. I do. I do. I can't say that I haven't been enlightened and guided and lifted and rebirthed. And we could put all kinds of words around it. I am so grateful that I am back in this body, in this brain, in this heart, in this spirit, in this soul, all of it. I'm grateful for all of it, you know?
Yeah, God definitely had his hands on you.
Yeah.
So Shannon, many people feel trauma takes something from them forever. What
Hmm.
did trauma take from you, and what do you believe trauma gave you that you didn't have before?
Oh, so much. Trauma gave me the strength to be vulnerable and to understand that we can't do it all on our own and we need to be able to find the ebb and flow of ourselves within our family, within our relationships, that there is so much, it taught me that there's so much strength in being broken. And it was okay to be a person needing a lot more than they ever needed in their life. And that gave me guidance and strength to know that it takes, you know, you could put it around, it takes a village, it takes a community, it takes a family, it takes others to see yourself a little better, you know, to understand who you are a little better and to appreciate and be grateful for the abundance that we all have within, no matter what, like within all of the trauma chaos that my life and my brain and my body have been through. I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't ask for a different story because I've learned and grown and expanded and evolved. And I feel like now I have something that I can share with others that I'm hoping can give them some type of support and guidance in their trauma. And that's my goal. And that, each and every conversation, each and every moment I have is like, how can I help others? How can they learn from me and what I've been able to get through? How can I expand and help? And that, you know, I help with the VA. I help in as much way as possible to share what's happened.
That's remarkable. That's real remarkable. So, can you tell us about your book, Step Into Your Miracle, Transform a
Yeah.
Trauma into Triumph?
Yes. I had a moment where I woke up and I felt like at the moment I was being screamed at, finish your book. But nobody was screaming at me. It was a spiritual awakening. And I called my best friend and I'm like, I'm learning to read again, but I can't really read a whole book. That's what I thought it was telling me. And she's like, Shannon, have you looked at your phone? I'm like, yeah, it's what I live by now because I take a picture to remember everything. Did I eat? Did I feed my dog? Like my phone is my guide. And she says, you need to look at your notes because I think that you might have already written something. And we had a conversation, and that is what guided to, sharing about my story and how to, again, begin to tell and help others and communicate. It's going to be okay, Shannon, and it's going to be okay whoever you are today in the chaos or the trauma or the survival that you feel like you're in the midst of, it's going to be okay. And that's how it came about. And I have an amazing publicist who, was a big help. And oh, no, on top of all of that, my daughter, I'll have to show you one second. My daughter drew the cover of my book.
Oh, wow.
She was in college and they were talking about the cover. And I'm like, I don't know if it should be a picture of me. I think it should be a drawing of me. And and they're like, oh, we'll hire an artist. I'm like, oh, my daughter's an artist. Maybe I can ask her. And she did. She drew my cover of my book.
Wow.
So again, she's been just a big part, obviously, of my journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that, yeah. So that's step into your miracle because it's your miracle. It's my miracle. It's all of our miracles. We are all, each and every one of us, even though sometimes we don't feel like it, we are a miracle.
Yes, we are. Yes, we definitely are. So, Shannon, what is the patchwork meditation process?
It's a great question. So it's an obvious thing. I wear an eye patch. And with my short term memory limitations, I had this bulletin board that I kept having to write things down so I would remember how to do and how to grow and how to learn and how to rebuild my life. And I just would have these bullet points of things to do so that I could keep rebuilding this brain. And so patchwork is, just a patch is a word that I took. I'll show you this as well. So patchwork, and a friend of mine made me that. And basically, it's for me, it was the meditative process of remembering who I was, and it started with put an eye patch on, cover one eye, and see how your perspective can change. And mine is obviously necessary, but for others to put an eye patch on and see the adjustment and I don't know, it kind of can guide you that life can make one small change and you can make an adjustment and you can see yourself clearer and more kindly is the main process of it. And so I start with P, pause and stay present. Like that has been my lifesaver. If we could all just stay present, like we were talking about earlier, I feel like that's been say 70% of my recovery. And then my second one is A for action, take action with what's spoken to you and through you. And T is thoughtfulness, be thoughtful to yourself and to others. And C is care, care for your heart, for your mind, and for your body. And did I get the letters wrong? See, my brain, I still have issues with what I say and what comes out of my mouth because my brain trauma, it's not like it's all so wait, pause and stay present, take action, be thoughtful, see, care for mind. Yep, I was on the right track.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the last one is to heal. And from that, you can heal, self heal, heal others, and find again from where you sit in this present moment how you can do your self healing, how you can hold the hand of somebody and help them heal. Like there's to me, a full gain from pausing, stay present, and all of what I just said. And that's my goal is for others to understand how such a small change can affect your life.
Yeah, Shannon, listening to all the things you're saying, I hear the word patience, you know, And that's
Huh.
what a lot of people need to realize is that when you go through things in life, a lot of times, and you're dealing with a lot of things, sometimes it takes just patience to get through it.
It does. 100% does. Yeah. I had to have a lot of patience in my recovery with my goals, even. Like, I literally had to learn to walk again and drive again. And you don't think things are going to be taken away. So I had to really be patient with myself and to allow myself to slowly heal, and it worked.
Exactly. So we're talking about healing. I want to go back to
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
What is the biggest misconception people have about healing after trauma and serious
Mm.
illness?
I'd say for me, what first came to me is that healing comes from within. It's not something that you have to, it's not something that you can control. It's something that if you stay present, it comes to you and with you. And I'd say that the healing part of my recovery, which has been a lot, is within that patience. It's within the strength of knowing you can be different and be good still. And being different is sometimes hard. We're taught certain things, we learn certain things, we do certain things. So to be different is, and again, I patch and everything. Like, I now get used to people staring at me like, kind of like, what's that? Because that's a uniqueness now for me. I even put my logo on it because I'm like, I've got to make it fun to look at when I look in the mirror. But I try to find joy within my healing, even if it's painful, even if it's not pretty, even if it's not easy, that we can find ourselves and gain from our pain in a way and from our healing. Again, is to me, to heal is an abundance of being the best person you can be.
Right. So for someone listening who feels broken, stuck, or afraid they'll never
Hmm.
be the same, what would you tell them? Just say, for instance, they're thinking that, they'll never be the same after something happens to them.
Which happens
What would
often.
where should they start?
I would say they should start by being kind to themselves and know that if they can, as we were talking about, pause and stay present and have patience for themselves and for those around them, they can gain and they can grow and they can expand and they can learn how to be a better them. And just that day, like just in today, like whoever is sitting there listening to us and they don't feel like they're finding their way through trauma, stay present, have a cup of coffee, take a walk, do whatever it takes to bring joy to yourself that day. And that's not always the easiest thing to do because we don't always do our self care very well. And for all of us, self care is different. You know, we all find it down different avenues, different ways that we talk to ourselves. I think we talk to ourselves poorly all the time. We have to be kinder to ourselves and again, find abundance in who we are today, today only, not tomorrow, not yesterday, just today. What is that for you? What brings you joy today? What brings a smile? And what doesn't? Even when a smile doesn't come to your face, that's okay too. You'll wake up the next day and you'll find it again, and it's in there. That's my neurologist said with my brain trauma. He's like, it's all still in there. Just keep digging it out. That's a statement I will never forget.
Right.
It gave me hope that it gave me hope that even not knowing anything and not remembering anything, I still, I found hope within my heart and through everything that was spoken through me and to me to basically come back and be alive. And the rebirth of all of that, that was me. And for you, it's a different story. And I understand also that some people, like I used to do this, compare a lot, just compare this for that. And when people can stop sitting in comparison of others and just be exactly who they are, that's a good place to be.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And like I said, you are a ray of hope. I mean, because here's the thing, when things don't go the way we want them to go, things happen
Mhm.
unexpectedly to us in life and we get set back. I think hope is the one thing that you can pull from.
Yep.
to keep you in the game and keep you more positive and keep you say, hey, I can get this done. I feel it.
I'm not sure how, but I can.
Right. Right. I got to stand and fight.
Yeah.
I got to stand and fight.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Now, what does living brilliantly mean to you, and how do you want your story to inspire others?
Oh, good questions. I have to remember for me that if I can remember that I don't really know, that I don't really remember everything, but I have a lot to offer, even though I can't remember what. I'll give you an example. My short term memory is still very limited. So I will have a conversation, and there's a very limited amount of it that I will remember. And I had to, and I do get comfortable with the idea that what comes out of my mouth and how I share in my journey and within my strength and my healing, I may not remember what I say. I may not remember what we talk about, but I know that it's all in there. And I keep staying present and not worry about where it leads me. All I know is I'm here to help. And that's enough for me. Again, what I can retain versus what I do, I had to balance that out. And I would say for all of us, again, try to stay present and you will find abundance from staying present.
Absolutely. So, Shannon, I have what I call quick fire questions.
Okay.
All right. You ready? What's one word that describes your journey today?
Strength.
What did trauma teach you about your inner strength?
That vulnerability is brilliant.
One thing you do daily to protect your mindset.
Try not to be the old me. I try to focus on just being who I am and not trying to gain back what I had.
And what message do you want survivors to remember on their hardest days?
You have the strength. You have the present moment to give you strength.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
And step into your miracle because you are, again, I believe, again, that's my book that came to me too, through me. Step into your miracle. You are full of strength and power, and you need to see your abundance.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So lastly, Shannon,
Yeah.
how can listeners follow you on social media or purchase your book?
Yes. So they made me a beautiful website, stepintoyourmiracle.com. And email me a question. If anybody has any questions, I'm here. Shannon at Step Into Your Miracle is my email. And I have a beautiful website, and you can purchase my book and you can see a bit more about my story and my pictures with my daughter, who again was the one that drew the cover, and my journey. And I'm with a lot of help, create a way that there's going to be an online class that we do. So take a peek at my website and then look back again because it's coming soon, even though it doesn't say it on, on the website. But please take a peek at my story. And if it's interesting to you, please get my book and understand that there's so much in there that I think people can gain from, how they can open up and see themselves as a new person each and every day. So that's my goal.
Absolutely. There you have it, Shannon Michelle. Shannon, thank you so much for taking your time out. I've had a blast today.
Thank you. Thank you. This is wonderful. So yes, step into your miracle, all of you.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening to Real Talk with Reginald D. If you enjoyed listening to Real Talk with Reginald D, please rate and review on Apple Podcasts. See you next time.